Khabib's manager Ali has sent his response to Conor McGregor's post. So this guy says, first of all, the champion Khabib is too busy enjoying his life and he does not give a shit what anyone says, but this is my response to the weak soul, him and his sorry excuse team making excuses. For this man to call Conor a weak soul, you know, who the hell is this guy to call him that? First of all, let me just start with that. When a man gets held against his will and listens to you gasp for air, hopeless on your back, how do you win a fight? If this was a street fight, you'd be done. You got out-grappled and out-wrestled looking like a little child. Well, that is true. I mean, Conor McGregor did get out-grappled and out-wrestled. Second round, the wrestler grappler outstruck you and hit you with the K-bomb and put you on your ass. Taken down, hit with missile strikes from the guard, and getting smashed in front of your whole family and crew. That is also true. Khabib did land the biggest punch. Point 3. Khabib stood the whole round with you to make a point that you're a front runner. If you can knock somebody else up, you give up. If you can knock someone else, you give up like you did 5 times in your fighting career. What does that mean? Oh, I think it's a spell check right there. Spell check, Ali. You need to have somebody. See, this is how I know he posted this, because it's got errors like this. I think what he meant was, if you can't knock someone else up, you give up. So that's what he's saying. That if Conor McGregor can't land that big knockout shot in round 1 and 2, that he quits. I think that's what he's saying. Now this is important. He says, then you mentioned this is only business. You put your white flag in the middle of the battle, you know. And he's referencing round 3, at the end of round 3, with Conor McGregor. They were, you know, tied up in the clinch. Referee separates them. Conor says, I'm a fan of Conor McGregor. I'm not a big fan of this guy. I think this dude's an ass clown. I mean, he may be a great manager and his fight team might love him, but, you know, publicly, for me, dude's an ass clown. He does have a point here. To me, the most disappointment that I've been was not his performance, was not the fact that he tapped out, but it was the fact that he did say it's only business in the round. And that, to me, was almost throwing in the white flag, right? He's just letting them know, like, hey, it's only business. And he said pre-fight that this is personal.
There is way deeper shit than just a fight on Saturday night.
He said that this will never be over.
There will never be peace here. And this is never over.
For him to say it's only business, especially after a round which was Conor's best round. So to me, that was probably the most disappointed I've been in Conor's career. It was really hard for me to watch as a fan, to like, why did he say that? You know, and not only that, guys, remember in round 3, he actually went out and tried to touch hands with Khabib, you know, which was another sign that I did not like seeing that. I felt like that was mentally, he was almost quitting right before the round even started, which was ironic because round 3 was his best round. So I would think after round 3 he would talk some smack, but I felt like, you know, he almost quit at the end of round 3, like, hey, it's only business. I hate to say this because I'm not a big fan of Khabib's manager, but these are some valid points in my opinion. 4th round, God put mercy in Khabib's heart and decided to show the world you're a tap machine and put on a neck crank that wasn't even a choke. The proper technique is 2-on-1, try to peel the arm and defend the neck crank. You put your 2 hands on the ground and your hand only came up when you were ready to tap. It's embarrassing. If you would have beat Khabib, it would have been fair and square, no excuses. Now, if you can't, you know, make us 100 mil, we know you can't go fight someone else because your ass is not getting a rematch. Go open a liquor store and focus on selling alcohol, especially after all that shit you talk. Just shut the F up and move on. I got a big problem with this statement right here. Number 1, you know, he's talking about, oh, this is a neck crank. It wasn't even a choke. First of all, this is not a jiu-jitsu tournament, all right? People need to stop bringing this up. Conor McGregor was just in a goddamn battle, all right? And unfortunately, he was on the receiving end of that ass whooping. This guy who's never had a fight like this, I don't know if he had a fight career. I heard he had, like, you know, a couple of fights in the amateur leagues or small circuit. I'm not sure. I think he's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But, you know, jiu-jitsu and fighting is not the same thing at all. I think there's a famous saying, if you punch a black belt, they turn into a brown belt. You punch them again, turn into a blue belt. Well, you know, jiu-jitsu with punching versus just jiu-jitsu, they're two completely different things over here. And for this guy to be talking about this is not a proper technique, you're a tap machine, and you know, you try to do the two-on-one, for him to say that is absolutely ridiculous, and it's a clown move on his part, because he's never going to get in the ring with Conor McGregor. All right, you can talk what you want about Dylan Dennis, but at least Dylan Dennis is getting in the ring and he's fighting, right? He's fighting guys that want to shut his mouth. This guy isn't even fighting. This guy's a manager, and this guy's over here talking about this is not a proper technique. Like, you don't know what's proper technique because you're not in the cage. You're not against a guy like Khabib. You're not against, you didn't just get whooped like Khabib just whooped Conor, talking about proper technique. You know, there is no proper technique when you're getting beat, right? You forget all about technique. Everyone knows how to escape a mount. Everybody who does MMA, everybody who fights in the UFC knows how to escape mount. But how many times have we seen a fighter that get mounted, getting punched, and they don't know what to do? They look like fish out of water, right? Or they get hit and they curl up into a ball and they can't move. You know, we can all break things down post fight, but at the end of the day, when you're in the moment, it's scary. And for him to say that, it's embarrassing. Okay, he has no right to say that. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and it's really arrogant for him to say that. Let Khabib beat him up like Khabib did to Conor in the second round, and let's see if he can try to get out of a neck crank. When you're fresh versus when you're tired, when you're beaten up, two different things. A choke or a crank that's not very tight that you can get out of in the first round, you might not be able to get out in the fourth round. So for him to make those statements is just absolutely ridiculous. And then I also have a problem with him saying that open up a liquor store and focus on selling alcohol, blah, blah, blah. You know, Conor, you got to applaud Conor with this Irish, despite how you feel about, you know, liquor or whatever. He's doing something that no other MMA fighter has done in their fight career, right? He's opening. First of all, his whiskey, his brand is on the octagon as a sponsor, which is breaking barriers, right? No other fighter has done that, and I'm pretty sure other fighters will follow suit and they will do that. They'll start up their own business, right? They'll want to be partners with the UFC. They want to do things, and Conor McGregor is the first one to do that. And instead of bashing him for this liquor thing, you should be applauding him because he's breaking barriers. He's doing things that other fighters will follow and go, you know what? I want to create my own company, and I want my company to sponsor the UFC, right? I want that in the octagon. So I applaud Conor McGregor for that. And anybody who trashes him for this liquor business is absolutely ridiculous. You know, these guys they really have no clue. They're just being haters at this point. Just like this guy. Honest assessment of his post, made some good points. You know, 1, 2, 3, he's made some valid posts, valid points. I agree with that. But the last one, I mean, the last 2 points he made are just being a hater. And he's not being honest with himself. But another thing, guys, and this is a bitch-ass move on his part, he's not allowing public comments on this, okay? That is a bitch-ass move right there. Comments on this post have been limited, right? So he got his boys to comment on here. Some of his fighters, you know, Derek Brunson and Usman and all these guys are posting on there. All these comments, which only has a few of them, are all comments supporting him, or all comments hating on Conor McGregor, and he's not allowing the rest of them. You know, say what you want about Conor McGregor. At least his post is open to the public and anybody can comment, because there's so many comments out there blasting Conor McGregor, you call him a tapper or whatever, but he's allowing everyone. This guy is only allowing like 10 people to post and he's blocking the rest of them. That's a bitch-ass move right there. So call it what it is. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about this post. If he's speaking out of turn, or maybe he has a right to talk just like Conor. But at the end of the day, like I said, Conor's getting in there with Khabib. This guy's not.